Welcome to this week's TFL's Capital Connection. First of all, I'm thrilled to be back in this seat because I'm actually back in town after being out for a little while. But Chuck, nobody's interested in my travels, but they're interested in your travels. You just went to Chile. Your family's there. More importantly than your family there, a special member of your family, little baby May. Everybody wants to know, how are they doing? How's May doing? A lot of prayers have been lifted up.
I'll try to keep it together here because it is emotional to talk about. My son and daughter-in-law had a baby over a year ago, December of 2016. She was in the hospital for 200 days. Didn't know if she was going to survive. But after 7 invasive surgeries to her intestines, she made it. She's home. I got to hold her and feed her, and she's got a beautiful smile on her face. Life is precious. That's one reason we fight so hard at the Capitol and in the culture to save babies' lives.
Praise God. You know, I think about that, about 7 surgeries and basically sparing no cost, no technique, no science, but to save that life. And yet we debate at the state capitol about when there's a heartbeat, should we save that life in the womb? And I'm thinking, yes, we should. Danny, a lot's been happening. And in Chuck's absence, my absence, you have really been carrying the torch down at the Capitol. You've had a great team here with the Family Leader, but also with the Coalition of Pro-Life Leaders. But tell us about the public hearing. I know a lot of people are praying for it. A lot of people have tuned in to it. And if people want to see the video recap of it, I would definitely go to our thefamilyleader.com, our webpage, and there's a video recap of that public hearing. You don't want to miss that. That is powerful testimony that gives both sides. You'll see what we're up against. But Danny, tell us, you were there. Give us the insight into that public hearing.
Well, a week ago today, Bob, we found out there was going to be a public hearing, but we didn't know when. And it wasn't until Monday afternoon that we found out that the public hearing was going to be Tuesday evening. So with about 24 hours notice, we had to scramble and try to put together a lineup of people who could testify in support of passage of Senate File 359, the heartbeat bill. Praise God, with the hard work of this team here at the Family Leader, as well as the Coalition of Pro-Life Leaders, we were able to assemble that lineup and get that list into the decision makers in the Iowa House. And they had a total of 90 minutes for the public hearing, and they give each side 3 minutes back and forth. So that meant we only got 15 slots, if you do the math.
You bet.
But it really came together. God blessed it. We had some powerful testimony. And I tell you, Bob, that 10-minute video that you just talked about captures the essence of that 90-minute hearing. It is well worth your time to watch that video. Some remarkable testimony, and it's not all just in support of the bill. We've included the opposition as well. Give you a good feel for how that testimony, we heard nothing but good remarks in the days following from legislators.
Bob, I have to tell you, yesterday I was with the Speaker of the House's top aide, and he was raving about how good that hearing went. This heartbeat bill has been traumatic for the House Republican caucus, which he oversees, and we think that hearing and that testimony really advanced the cause of life.
Well, praise God, and praise God for a great team here at the Family Leader that was able to do that. And so again, I'd invest 10 minutes of your time, watch that video, you get the full, basically all of that what happened at that public hearing. It was just tremendous, but a lot of prayer needs to be lifted up for this heartbeat bill to be advanced. I do want to give one shout out because this is a guy that just stays behind the scenes all the time. And he's really the lead of the Coalition of Pro-Life Leaders, and that's Scott Valencia. Scott has done amazing work of keeping all of our groups together, and we're all doing our parts, our piece, to try to advance this pro-life heartbeat bill. But I think it shows the power of unity and what can be done. So Danny, I'm going to come back to you. what are the next steps? What's the, a lot of people are saying, okay, I saw the public hearing, I watched the video, I'm motivated that it passed out of the Senate, but now what do we do in the House to pass out of the Iowa House?
Just to kind of recap, Bob, as you know, the bill passed the Senate. It has passed through the committee process in the House. The next step is debate by the full House of Representatives. That's 100 members. Do the math, takes 51 votes. That's the next step. We've got 59 Republicans in the majority party, and because they're the majority party, they decide pretty much what passes, what doesn't, what's going to happen. We need 51 of those 59 votes to support this bill, and I'm confident that that's going to happen. But as we said here today, I can't guarantee you. Just because we've got 59 Republicans doesn't mean that we've got 59 who will vote for this bill. And I don't mean that critically. There are some who believe they have good reasons for it, not just that they don't believe in protecting life, but legal, political reasoning. But we need 51 votes to bring this through the House. As a technical matter, if the House does pass it, it's got to go back to the Senate, because the House is planning to amend the Senate file, which means that sends it back over to the Senate that did pass it 30-20. They will have to agree with the House amendment. If they do, it goes to Governor Reynolds for her signature.
And we don't care how we get to 51, if it's Republican or Democrats. I would say talk to your legislator, go to their breakfasts, if you see them at church. Just so you know, the family leader, we're really implementing the Nathan to David approach. We're having pastors talk to legislators. We're having peers talk to peers. We're having the Senate members talk to House members. We're encouraging constituents to talk to these members as well. And not in a way to beat them up and to force them to do something, but in a way to really understand the preciousness that Chuck talked about earlier with May, the gift of life, and to honor and support that life at the moment of a heartbeat all the way till its natural conclusion. The heartbeat's taking up a lot of our time, and not only do we have that video that we said at thefamilyleader.com, I'd also go to our Facebook page, the Family Leaders Facebook page. There's an ultrasound video on that Facebook page I think you want to see, and I'd share that all over the place. It's a powerful 1-minute video that you'll want to take a look at. Chuck, that's all about the heartbeat, but tell us, there's other stuff going on at the Capitol. Give us something else that our listeners and viewers might want to be tuning into.
Sure. Well, real quickly, we have spent a lot of time on religious liberty this session, and we've had a couple of disappointments after some great progress. I did speak with the Speaker of the House's top aide yesterday on religious liberty, and I found out some inside baseball on why that isn't advancing in the House. I would say please pray about that. There still is an opportunity during the close down of session when the final agreements are made and the jostling happens between the House and the Senate. I'd pray that we get something to protect the gospel and religious liberty in Iowa. I can't disclose all those details, but please pray for that. And then something I can disclose is yesterday I had the privilege of testifying in a subcommittee in the Senate on school choice legislation. Many opponents of school choice say that it's unconstitutional. I've happened to have read the cases on that and was able to testify in just a couple of minutes that the bill that is being presented is perfectly constitutional. So we're hoping that advances in the Senate. The House, there's a few more hesitations on school choice, but school choice is not dead yet because it's going to the Ways and Means Committee, which is not subject to the funnel.
So probably to wrap this up, one of the key takeaways is we need your prayers. We need your prayers for the heartbeat legislation. We need your prayers for religious liberty. We need your prayers for the school choice. And that righteous legislation would get passed and unrighteous legislation would get stopped. I know many of you who tune into this every week, you may wonder, well, what do you support with the family leader? Right now there's a prayer team led by our IF 714 personnel that's constantly in prayer, bathing this in prayer. There's a legislative team headed by Chuck and Danny Carroll, working the angles at the Iowa legislature. There's a Church Ambassador Network team led by Greg Baker and his team, working with the pastors to be the Nathan to the David. There's the communications team with Glenn Cornell and Drew Zahn and putting together these videos you get to watch, and the Facebook video that I've encouraged you to see, as well as all the communication to keep you informed and updated. There's the database team of Dave Barnett and Nathan Ottman and others who are all working this together. And then there's you, those who are praying for us, those who are giving to the ministry, those who are volunteering for the ministry. It's a team, and we couldn't do this without you. And there's also the Coalition of Pro-Life Leaders. Praise God that we're coming together in a spirit of unity. I look for great things to happen in the next 3 weeks of this session. Tune in next week to TFL's Capitol Connection.